Corn isn't harmless, it's engineered slavery. Pleasure loops keep men neutered. In the sprint, men cut corn and weaponize lust. The link is in the description below. So listen, corn is digital slavery. Corn hijacks dopamine. Civilians think it's harmless. It's engineered control. Men addicted to pleasure can't build. Listen, bro, if you're still watching corn, I need you to wake the fuck up. Like we gotta get over this. Right? You've been a child, you see it pushed on social media, but again, social media is socially engineered to keep you in your loops. And then worse, who do you think controls corn? The best psychologist in the world. So if everything is a psychological loop within your mind, because you're walking around here fragmented, right? You have fragmented parts of you, what you fear, who you want to become, what you're doing later, the girl that you want to sleep with, all of these things, the fantasies, the desires, all of this stuff is fragmented within you, within your psychology. And if people are engineering corn, like the best psychologist has engineered corn, so what do you think it's going to do to you? It's going to hijack your dopamine system. And what do we know about dopamine? Dopamine is going to bring you all the way up in the air and then crash back down. And then you're going to go all the way up in the air once you start again at a faster rate and then come back down at a faster rate. Do you understand? Like, you have to start to understand all of the games that are being played on you. Your brain is literally being weaponized against itself. And you wonder why I call it slavery. You're going to continue living this life in this slavery loop, and then it's going to be too late for you to get out of it because your life will have already turned out to be this fragmented like storyline of fuckery, of endless loops that you know you should have gotten out of, but you didn't. And then when you're older, you're going to regret the fact that you didn't take the time to actually understand yourself at a deeper level and run away from this damn game that the system has you in. You must start to understand every part of these systems overlap in each other, which then keep you deeper and deeper and deeper and sink you deep, 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 deep so that you can't find yourself. You have to wake up to these truths. So, and by the way, lust is one of the most powerful tools you have, but you have to integrate it. Again, this is shadow integration, right? You must have a structure. So you'll hear me say, put women to the side for a second so that you can build a foundation so that when you bring the shadow back in, you can wield it and use it correctly instead of it almost like destroying your structure and destroying you in the process. Push lust to the side. And hello, listen, fellas, if you just cracking women just to crack for no reason and just letting out your energy, you are in this pool too, because you have a pleasure problem, right? It's the same exact thing as corn, but now you actually live in it. So while, yeah, I might commend you because you're actually testing polarity, are you truly testing polarity? Because a lot of this stuff is about the frame in which you go into it. And we'll get into that in a little bit, but lust is power. Lust is raw creative energy. Transmutation turns lust into content, into cash flow, into polarity. Without lust, you're neutered. So that's what I'm saying. You have to know how to wield lust to work for you. And that's all about the framework you go in as you go into it. Right? It's all about the framework. Everything that you do in life is about the framework and the attention that you have behind using whatever it is that you're doing. So if you go into lust and you integrate it back, now that you have a sturdy foundation and structure, you can now bring it back in to now seek your ability to hold your structure while around the feminine. So if you're a masculine man, you're going to attract feminine women. You're going to lust and have that lust and use that as power. But instead of going in it to think, I want to fuck this girl because I have all these fantasies that I have and all these desires. No, you're going to see how well you hold your structure when the feminine comes around you. Because how can you then say you have a strong structure if it's never tested? And a lot of you are going to have to go out into the field to test it. It's just like the feedback loops when you were a kid. Your parents programmed you with a certain understanding that they had, filled with their fears, filled with their ambitions, filled with all the things that they have in their program. They gave it to you. You then ran with it, went into society. Society gave you a feedback loop to tell you if it was right or wrong. And you did that for years on end. And so when it comes to your structure, now that you're deconstructing your civilian life and stepping into a more masculine frame, more masculine understanding of life, and more of this energetic field that we're all on, when you get a structure that is made with your masculine energy and discipline, you have to go test it. Which means going out into the field and going around the feminine. So now again, instead of pushing lust away, pushing your desires away, pushing these things that you want with women away. You invite it by going out into the field, seeing how women react to your structure, but always keeping your structure the number one thing in your mind. I refuse to fall into the softness of women when I go around them because my structure is impenetrable. So when you have an impenetrable structure with zero leaks and zero holes, what do you think the feminine does? It leans deeper into you. Because now they feel a bit more comfortable. They feel safe. A lot of men nowadays walk around with these permeated structures, these structures with leaks. So women never have a chance to let their hair down and feel safe. So now when you go out into the field and you're structured and you're disciplined and you don't fall into her softness, right? And your structure doesn't erode around her ability to have this chaos that she's looking for a container to sit in, your masculine container or your masculine structure, right? When you go around them, you continue to have that polarity. And so it's almost like a polarity test, frameworks, right? And so how do you break these? And again, let's pause before we go any deeper. As you go out and you have these dates with these women, or you go out and you start to test the field, yes, will it escalate? Potentially. And it's a very high chance that it will. When women feel safe and comfortable, they will escalate and let their nature take over quickly. And therefore, if the time presents itself, we all are now getting physical, bro, the goal is still the same. Hold your structure. A lot of y'all getting cheated on because you have no structure in the bedroom. Y'all letting off before the girl let off. Y'all letting off quicker, like in minutes, right? And your girl's not satisfied. Why? Because you fell into the softness. If you bust before she does, you're falling into her softness. If you don't take care of her in the bedroom, you're falling into her softness. Your structure allows the feminine to be chaotic and you contain it. Do your breath work as you're stroking. I don't care what you do. Take care of her first. Allow her to come into your container and be as chaotic and wild as she wants to be while you hold the frame. Hello, masculine discipline and structure operate that way inside and outside of the bedroom. You'll find yourself having women obsessed with you when you have structure all the way through and not just put up a good front when you're on the first date. So what you need to do to break the pleasure loops that you're in, cut corn, replace release with production, outreach, training, right? Building something, channel desire into empires. Exactly what I just said. Take your shadow of lust, take your shadow of desire, bring it back into your structure that you know is already impenetrable, and actually start to test yourself and see how well you do. When you start to fall into softness, when you start to fall into the feminine, when you get emotional when certain topics are brought up, realize that there is something wrong with my structure. I must go back and refine it. Now you know when you come back inside or when you go look and assess your daily routines, you know how to change it. You know what to alter so that when you see those, or when you get into the environment where now you're being tested or your structure is being tested, you know what to work on. That's how you have to operate. And that first starts by cutting corn. If you haven't cut corn already, you are screwed up. If you haven't cut this desire for a pleasure loop, which is just having endless sex for no reason, you are screwed up. Wake up, right? You will become a slave to these loops. The people who run these systems like social engineering, social media, all of these things, along with corn, are all psychologists. They're the best psychologists in the world that put all this shit together, and now it's fucking with you. And if you don't wake up to realize that, you're going to be screwed in the long run, and you're not going to get after anything that you desire in life. So I need you to actually take the time to assess what the hell where you're leaking and start to work on those things. And it starts with these pleasure loops because more than likely you're desiring the polarity and that softness from a woman, but you can't have it the way that you want it because you don't want to work on yourself in other ways. Women only polarize to men with structure or who front structure. And you see it where a lot of these dudes flaunt money, positioning, status, all of these things just to get the sex. But then when the sex is done, they really have nothing to show for. So at least now, if you refine yourself to a T, move all of the bullshit aside, you can work on yourself so that not only will you have the structure with women, you'll have the structure in business, you have the structure in your personal life, your body will change in fitness. Everything that reacts to you will change because of your structural composition on the energetic field that is reflecting you back to yourself. Wake up. And so your closing decree: cut pleasure loops, forge polarity. Consider yourself warned.